Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Aiden.
And Spencer from Cartoon Apocalypse.
And today we have some pretty exciting news for you guys. Pretty much, if you haven't heard, there's a new promo of Star versus the Forces of Evil. Now, we have actually seen what episode names and the dates of them coming out are, so we kind of know what to expect, but now this just confirms it even more. So we're super excited to come here and talk with you. We spent the last 2 hours just talking about it and seeing what we could come up with, and I think we have some pretty solid ideas on what's going to be happening.
Yes, indeed, Aiden. I think this is going to be interesting.
So we're going to start off by just showing you guys the promo. Links will all be down in the description to where you can go watch it just over and over again and stuff like that. But yeah, so we're just going to play it for you guys and enjoy.
The butterfly effect.
Isn't it bonkers that Heinous is Eclipsa's daughter?
Change one thing.
My daughter had pretty little clovers on her cheeks and the cutest tail in all of Muni.
A tail?
Change everything.
Beast can smell your fears before you're even afraid.
I request a trial by force.
Are you sorry for what you've done?
No, I'm not.
Hello, starring Mako.
Now that you've seen this, now we're going to go through frame by frame, not exactly, but sort of, we're just going to go in through it, section by section, and point out everything that we'll think will happen, and some secret little hidden details. Now, I did do this with the Stump Day, and we did find out some pretty cool information about it, and yeah, so hopefully we could find out some pretty good information from this as well. So,
in this first little section clip we have here, we see Star, who's extremely confused, because she's saying Meteora is Eclipsa's daughter, who is also Miss Heinous, and she looks confused. Moon, on the other hand, already knows this information, obviously, because she doesn't seem very concerned. She seems more focused on the stacks of papers she has and preparing for something. It appears as she seems fierce. It appears that she's also in her office, so it's nothing super special that we have here in this first clip.
And in this next part here, we actually see an older clip. Now, this was actually a clip from Monster Bash, and we see Miss Heinous rising up. Now, I'm saying Miss Heinous instead of Meteora, because at this point in time, we do not know that this is Meteora yet. So the reason why I think that they played an old clip is because Star was saying Miss Heinous versus Meteora. So nothing too special here. Again, it's just an old clip from Monster Bash.
And then here you have Eclipsa. It's nothing super special. We get to see a super cool new outfit for her. She got some pearls around her neck. The moon that we see that's been on her dress lately being a belt. And we get to see her typical hat. But this is also kind of symbolized, the same symbol as we saw before with Meteora standing up, her looking up. And it's like them seeing a new fate or seeing something what is yet to come. They're staring at their future, basically, which is why that's probably why they're put so closely together.
And also, might I mention that this is actually taking place in the trial room, and you'll see why I'm saying that later in the promo. And if you've already seen the promo, if you've seen this, so yeah, this is actually in the trial room. She's actually on her podium at this point in time. And then it cuts to change one thing. Now, this could be symbolizing something later in the future that we'll find out. But after this, it transitions to Eclipsa in what appears to be her little temple. And she's wearing that bandana looking thing on her hair like she was earlier, and she has that bathrobe type of dress on. And in this whole section, Eclipsa is saying how Meteora had pretty little clovers and a cute little tail. And pretty much we see transitioning through here that it just shows Meteora as a little kid starting to cry. Now, this could mean that maybe her monster husband has to be locked up, or maybe this is when Eclipsa was being crystallized and taken away. And in this section, we do see that Miss Heinous' cheeks start to glow. And one other thing that I just noticed is that she has a mole in the same exact spot that Marco does.
Marco evil confirmed?
Or Marco related confirmed. We have no idea. This is a stretch. I hate all those theories that say, oh, Marco's related to Star and stuff like that, just because that ruins Starco, and it's just oh. But I don't think so. I think that's just a coincidence.
As well as the soap and bulk in the background, so it seems like they're almost preparing, kind of like how when people are preparing for an apocalypse or a really bad winter, they go out and they buy a bunch of things in bulk to keep in stock.
But how do you know that's in bulk?
Aiden, that thing's like the size of her head.
That's just the relationship between being farther away. She's pretty close to it.
It's still pretty big. One way or the other, I don't know about you, but
Okay.
my soap containers are either not that big or they're bar soap.
Alright.
So I'm just saying, like, they're probably in the nursery or somewhere, because the nursery is supposed to be where she stayed for a while.
Yeah. And then after that, it transitions to another picture of Meteora while she's like wrapped up as a baby, and she has a tail, and we don't exactly know who this figure that's holding her is. Now, this figure could just be like the Memphred version for Eclipsa, as like her squire. I don't think they have a squire, but just as her like bodyguard type of thing, like Memphred is. Like Memphred for King River and Queen Moon is just like their servant in a way, and this could just be that version for Eclipsa. Or it could be like the nurse or something. We really have no idea who this could be.
He looks royal, though, as he's wearing the same shade of blue as you typically see River and Moon wear. Or the same type of shade, the same shade that you see all along the castle as well. So as you don't even see the mole that we saw in the last clip, but we do see a tail that Eclipsa has, or Meteora has.
And this does show that something happened to Meteora's tail. Or maybe it didn't, because we don't see inside of her dress, so we don't see a tail. So maybe Meteora has always had a tail, or maybe it got cut off. We don't really know.
Or maybe it's like her arm scales looking thing, and they just grow into her.
Yeah, but I wouldn't think that they would be able to retract.
Oh, well, I mean, her arm wasn't all red, it retracted into her. Or it morphed into her. So we could see her again with it, or maybe again it left, or maybe she just doesn't have it again.
I wouldn't think that the tail would be able to like come out and then go back, like just break off. I would think that.
I don't know. Maybe it's promo. We don't get to see too much.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that Eclipsa says the prettiest little tail of all Muni, and then Moon responds with a tail, meaning that you would imagine a tail would be important somewhere. Why would they emphasize so much on the tail if it's just gone?
And Eclipsa is making this out to be like way nicer and way better than Moon thinks it is. And honestly, I think that she's like over exaggerating the goodness of this, or maybe she's not. I'm not entirely too sure, but I think she's just sugarcoating it just so that we don't see the bad side of it.
Which I don't see a bad side of a tail, because tails are cool.
Well, she's just pointing out the other things to make other people distracted from what the true point is.
Still want a tail.
And Meteora also sneezes.
Super important.
And Spencer already brought this up earlier, but then Moon says a tail. And we do see in the background that this is taking place in Eclipse's little room area. And we know that because of the little vine branches.
The thorn branches.
Thorn branches, yes. They're pretty much the same thing.
Well, I mean, they belong to roses of some kind.
Yeah, alright.
And then we see change everything. So that's replying to the change one thing, change everything from the name, as well as it being the butterfly effect. Change one thing, change everything.
And then this next transition goes from Eclipsa just telling Moon about Meteora to something completely surprising, which we see a box of truth, and it's being unveiled as if being unveiled at a big event such as a trial. Not to mention that, but River is also saying something which we'll get into in a little second. And then the next clip that we see is of Meteora's arm growing and getting a lot stronger. Now, the reason why we're thinking that this is Meteora's arm versus Eclipse's husband is because it starts off white, and it's whiter such as it would be, because Eclipse's husband, from the photos that we see, is all just red. Now, this has some white like Meteora is. And then we see Star in some sort of mud pool or something. We have really no idea what it is. But there's something in the background that we can't just seem to figure out, and it's super intriguing. And we've been brainstorming some things, and we'll say what we think it is. But just notice Star for a second here. The Star is actually in her butterfly form. Now, if you don't believe me, then I'll put some images up here for you guys, but pretty much the only difference is that her horns are not gradiented, so they don't fade from like an orangish to a red. It's just all red. But the reason why we believe that she's in her butterfly form is because the horns look a little bit longer than usual, as well as her hair braids. We don't see her hair braids in any other time like this, except for when she's in her butterfly form. So this means that she was in her butterfly form, and that's probably why this episode that we think is going to correlate this is called Butterfly Trap. She's in her butterfly form, and she's also in a trap. And we'll get into more of this in a little bit. So Spencer, what are you thinking that this monster in the background is?
Well, the first thing that pops out to me is it looks like he's almost wearing a crown, perhaps. It also looks like he has branches, almost like horns of some kind, and it looks like he's wearing almost like a cloak. So, a few things that pop in my mind is this may even be Buff Frog dressed up in a costume for some reason, because he's the new monster expert. Or this could be a whole new villain, because in fact, Eclipsa has a thorn in her hat, and they look very similar to the thorn on Stump Day, and the thorns that this guy has, or not thorns, but branches of a tree that grow out of this guy's head. And then Star, obviously, she looks concerned and she screams. So this guy could be any number of things.
And then also, we did bring up a River saying something, and River is saying, the beast can smell your fears before you're even afraid. So this could mean that this is a beast that we've never seen, such as a monster husband. Or this is actually just an audio clip from the Bog Beast of Bagaha. And the reason why we know that is because River and Star are camping out or something in that episode, and we know that because Darren Nefsey posted an image on Instagram about it, so we do know that. But pretty much this is actually, and we will see Star and River. Actually, we don't see River at all in this clip, but we will see more clips from the Bog Beast of Bagaha. That's at least what we're assuming. We're assuming that some of these later clips are going to be from the Bog Beast of Bagaha. But this next clip gets me super excited. And this is super interesting as well, because it is Marco's reflection in a golden tooth. Now, the reason why this gets me so excited, because this is the only time we see Marco in the entire promo. As well as this, we are thinking that this row of teeth is actually from Eclipsa's monster husband. Now, there are a couple reasons for this, and there are a couple things that point against it. But we have some rebuttals to the things that point against it. And one of the reasons why we think that this is Eclipsa's monster husband is because of the red skin. Now you might argue that the lips are different. The lips are normally red, but this is a different shade of red. As well as that, you guys might argue that in the portrait of Eclipsa's monster husband, he has, these big pointy teeth, and he doesn't have a gold tooth. But the rebuttal to that is that picture
old.
What?
I mean, the picture itself is old.
Well, that, as well as the picture is over-exaggerating. The picture over-exaggerates everything. In that picture, Eclipsa looks straight up evil, but she actually is not evil. She seems the opposite of evil at this point in time. Now, that's why we're thinking that this monster husband is not actually that evil-looking, just because the machine that made the portrait displayed
portraits are painted.
Well,
by hand.
It's a sewing, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you want to call it.
Alright, let's keep going.
Yeah, but pretty much the machine that makes it, and we know the machine makes it because of that episode from Into the Wand that the thing is being made into, like Lostrick's being made into it, and that's also Star's thing. So that's that, or, maybe it's not. Maybe that's just something that they included in the episode. But pretty much, I'm thinking that this is Eclipsa's monster husband. I think Spencer agrees with me when I say that. And this shows Marco's reflection in the golden tooth. Now, this gets me super excited. Now, I had some ideas on this, and we haven't seen Marco anywhere else in the promo. You can look through it. We don't see Marco anywhere else. So, what could this mean? This means that Marco and Eclipsa's monster husband are getting face-to-face with something. What are they getting face-to-face with? We don't really know. But that's the exciting part. We can speculate whatever we want, pretty much. But I'm thinking that maybe he's making a deal with Eclipse's monster husband. Now we don't know we don't know anything about Eclipse's monster husband at this point in time yet, so he could have magical powers and grant the powers that Marco could be looking for. And the reason why we think that Marco might be seeking a deal is because in the episode Marco Jr., we're thinking, or at least I'm thinking, that the Naysayer will appear, and then Marco will have to confess his love to Star. And then it'll just be super awkward, so then he leaves, right? And then he's just sad, and then maybe he comes across this monster husband. Or maybe it's completely something different. Maybe they're investigating this area somewhere, and then Eclipse's monster husband comes out, and then this is just the first thing we see of it. We don't really know. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so, besides the fact that the look on his face doesn't look scared, but rather he looks focused, as if he's trying to make a deal. Because you don't want to be super aggressive if you're trying to make a deal. And so, but Marco doesn't look like he's about to get into any kind of fight or anything. He looks sincere.
And as well as Eclipse's monster husband is actually making like a grin, like a smirk. That's just something to point out there as well. And also in the background, we still hear Star's scream from the previous clip, which was Star being trapped. Now that clip took a while to analyze. And this next one also took forever to analyze. Now, pretty much, this next clip has me and Spencer fairly confused on what's going on or why it's going on, I think.
Yeah.
So, pretty much, we see Moon just walking along, and then a spider comes in and tries to take a scroll that she's holding. Now, why? We
have no clue.
Yeah, this is confused the heck out of us. And in my opinion, Moon looks like she's trying to walk fairly fast, and she has like a more worried look on her face. And then the spider just swoops in and is like, "Hey, I'm taking that." And then I don't know, the spider's actually wearing Queen Moon's crown. Now we were like, could this be River's crown? Because like one of my ideas was like, oh, what if River got turned into a spider? And I know that sounds stupid, but you never really know. It's a promo. We can't tell anything. But pretty much this is actually Moon's crown. Now why the spider has Moon's crown, I don't know. Another spitball I had suggested is, what if the spider is actually Moon, and then like the Moon that we see is some, I don't know, that most likely is a 999.9% no chance of happening. But pretty much, Spencer, analyze the background for us a little bit.
Well, the background itself, it's an ancient... Castles itself, back in the day, had these rooms to store information. So we actually see a bunch of scrolls in the background, which is interesting. That's why she's in this room having a scroll. As well as one of the back mirror or windows appear to be cracked, almost, or it has a different portrait than the one even further back. I understand that the one in the back is further away, so it's harder to tell, but we don't know for sure. As well as there appears to be some purple feathers falling down. Whose feathers, what bird feathers, we don't know. As well as the spider itself has 6 legs and 3 eyes. Spiders don't have 3 eyes and they have 8 legs, so the reason behind this is unforeseeable. We actually thought maybe Ludo had something to do with this, and Ludo's spider actually may have had babies, and this is one of the babies. And it's trying to steal this scroll for whatever reason, we don't really know. But one of my main problems with this clip is Moon is supposed to be a super powerful wizard or powerful magic-wielding queen. And she's scared of this spider that's not even as big as her. Don't get me wrong, spiders, some people think are terrifying. I'm personally not that scared of them. But, I mean, if you see one that big, sure, you're going to be pretty scared. But Moon, it should be different. She should have magical abilities and should be able to deal with it just fine. Which is interesting.
As well as one thing I just noticed. At first, we were like, oh, there's feathers in the background. What does this mean? But as I started playing it back and forth, I noticed that there were more and more feathers flying as if they were trying to attack
I noticed that
Queen
as well.
Moon. So what if she is infiltrating the Pigeon Kingdom, and she's breaking all these rules and stuff, and the spider's trying to get the scroll back, and she's trying to take this scroll, and the Pigeon Kingdom is not wanting them to leave, or wanting her to leave with the scroll, so they're all just trying to fight. And maybe the spider just happens to be a coincidental spider. Probably not. but we'll see.
Or maybe, with the feathers is Ludo also has an eagle.
Oh.
Or maybe it could be his other bird companion throwing feathers at them. They're working together to stop Moon.
That's also an interesting point. Ludo and Spider, or Eagle and Spider, that makes total sense. And then in this next clip, we do see Star in a bush that appears to have little, like, monsters. Possibly the bog beasts of Bagaha. Or, maybe not the bog beast of Bagaha itself, but maybe its babies. And then the next clip just coincidentally happens to be a monster or something with green eyes or green lights that is shining at Star in a cave-looking area. So, possibly this is all from the Bog Beast of Bagaha, and this is where more of the Bog Beast of Bagaha clips come into play. And in the background of all of this, we hear Eclipsa saying, "I request a trial by box." Now, while she's saying this, we see those two clips. We see Star in the bush, we see the monster glowing with the eyes, we see Star riding on her Cloudy with 3 other pony heads, the original pony head and then the 2 other pony heads, 2 other ones. Now I don't really know, but one thing that we did notice that it looks like that they're in the clouds, like just the environment looks like a stormy cloud and then there's lightning all around it. And there are little crystals either poking up through the cloud or they're just like there, they like
kind of like a cloud kingdom. They just kind of grow on the clouds.
Yeah, so like they would grow on the clouds, and they're just there. So this could possibly be in a certain location. Now, Star is looking kind of like angry in a way, and determined to go do whatever she's about to go do. Now, whether this is go to battle or something else, we're not really too sure. But I think we have a pretty good theory on what's going to go down. And I'll say that theory in a little bit.
In this next clip, we get to see the truth box opening up, which it just looks phenomenal. It looks terrifying, and we see that Eclipsa actually got her wish, which was trial by box, and we get to see the truth box opening up with all of its glory.
Now, this next clip kind of goes hand in hand with itself, and it's pretty much Moon saying, "Are you sorry for what you've done?" And then we hear in the background Eclipsa saying, No, I'm not."
Now, what it is that she's done exactly, we don't know. She's sitting once again in what appears to be the trial seat. Moon's talking to her, and then the screen blacks out.
And then it flashes to Hekapu holding up a scroll that looks like a clipboard with evil written on it. And we do see there's Moon's crown popping up there. We see Omnitrix's little like orb thing there, and we see Romulus and actually a picture of Lekman, which is pretty cool.
Poor Lekman.
And then a certain thing that got me surprised was Sean. Now Sean we see only in one episode, I think. I'm not entirely too sure, but we don't really see him very often. Now the episode that we did see him in was the Glossaric episode when he went into that elevator, and it was Page Turner, and pretty much he was going there to talk with the Magic High Commission, and he was just like it took forever for him to get up to the top. But Sean looks extremely terrified, and we don't exactly know why at the moment, but we do know that he is in the trial room because of the background, and the background looks like the trial room that we've seen before.
Well, now it's a closer look. You actually would appears to see his gloves and hands opening up and revealing the truth box at the beginning of the trailer, or the beginning of the promo.
Oh yeah. And then we see Star holding up her wand, and we know exactly what this is for. In the next clip over, we see Star holding her wand, activating a spell, and it looks like she's about to kill Eclipsa. Oh no, Eclipsa's gonna die. End of episode. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. No video tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding. There's so much more. Well, there's not more to the promo, but there's still more to talk about. So pretty much Star is holding up a spell. Moon in the background is just kind of looking like blank, but that's just an animation thing. They're not going to animate that. And she's moving her wand towards Eclipsa, and Eclipsa's holding her arms up with the chain. Now this is, I'm assuming, at the end of the trial, when the Magic High Commission has ordered her to do something with Eclipsa. But pretty much the only thing we can gather from this is that Star is going to do something to Eclipsa. Now, we're thinking that she is being ordered to do something bad, but she's actually just going to let her go. Now, the reason why we think this is because she closes her eyes, and same with Eclipsa, as in, like, she doesn't want to do it, but then she ends up doing something different.
as well as the wand tilts down towards the handcuffs rather than towards her face or any other body part.
And then after that, it pretty much just cuts into the end. But that's not all. At the very end, it fades into Ludo saying, "Hello, Star and Marco," with a little smirk at the very end.
And from this scene that I may have looked at for maybe about 45 minutes alone, I got just about nothing from him. It looks maybe like there's a bookshelf in the background, but that's about it. We can't really tell what any of the other objects are. And he just looks terrifying. He looks scary. This is super suspenseful. We don't really know what's going to happen.
And not only that, we see his beard is like being held back. In my opinion, it's being held back. Spencer's like, oh, it's not being held back. It's just being like that naturally or something.
I think he just tied it back like that. I don't think he's being forced into any situations.
I don't know. But there are a couple things that we can do and discuss this, but this video is being terribly long. It's going to probably be like 20 to 30 minutes long, which, I mean, it's okay. All promo analyses should be this long. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about before we end this video is that April 7th, the question marks are hidden. Now, in previous prediction videos, I have said that it could be Trial Part 1 and Trial Part 2, because that fits in the 10-box slot. Or, it could be Trial by Box. Now, that also fits in the 10-block slot. And that is actually what Eclipse said in the promo. So that leads me to believe that this is Trial by Box. Now you might be wondering, oh, then what's in the second question mark? But I'm actually thinking that it's just one episode, it's just a 20-minute episode versus two 10-minute ones. And the reason why they didn't put it as just one is because, one, that would pretty much reveal that it's the trial, and two, that would make the formatting of this whole like poster look weird. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, you can leave a like and subscribe. And pretty much expect to see so many more videos about this, because we have come up with some theories and other things like that. Now, there will be so many new episodes or videos about this new stuff, but I probably will not upload tomorrow just because this would have been tomorrow's video and I double uploaded on a day, just stuff like that. So confusing stuff happened and just my schedule's been knocked out of whack. So this will be uploaded today on the day of this release on the promo, but there will probably be no episode on the Monday. So that means that next Tuesday we'll actually have something to do about this with another theory or just something like that. So if you guys want more, then you could stay tuned and subscribe and stuff like that. You can talk about it with other members on the Discord, because we have that. So you can join our Discord. All the links are in the description for all these different things. And we also have a Twitter and Instagram, to where you can hear like news and channel updates and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see you later.
Goodbye. That was a creepy goodbye.
All wearing skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans!